Today we're going to talk about what the average retirement savings of a 40-year-old is in the United States. We're also going to discuss what you should have at 40 years old in order to retire comfortably. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
Retirement is one of those things that people don't want to talk about. It's like the boogeyman in the closet. They think that if they forget about it, it'll go away. But unfortunately, what ends up happening is time continues to pass and the savings account remains empty. Case in point is 81% of Americans, retired or not, have less than $5,000 in savings. Now this is an important statistic and one that will factor into the calculations that I'm going to show you next. So let's get right into it. In this country, we have two groups of retirees. Those that have savings and those that don't. I'm going to show you the average retirement savings for those that have savings. First, let's talk about the difference between average and median, because there is a big difference when you're talking about retirement savings. Because the average is just the sum of all of the savings accounts of a pool of retirees divided by the number of savings accounts. The median is different than the average because the median is a much more useful number. It's the midpoint between the top and the bottom of the savers in terms of the actual point itself, not the average of the data points in between. Let me give you an example. If you had five 40-year-olds, one has $350,000 in savings, one has $60,000 in savings, one has $54,000 in savings, one has $25,000 in savings, and one has $11,000 in savings. The total of those five amounts is $500,000, and the average is $100,000. And coincidentally, that is the average of the 40-year-olds out there. That's the average savings of 40-year-olds in this country. Let's put that number right here. The average of people with savings is $100,000. The problem, of course, is that top number right there. Most people don't have $350,000. And in fact, we're not talking about five people. You're talking about a pool of 5 to 10 million 40-year-olds. The top number might be $35 million, and the bottom number might be $100. So using the average doesn't make a lot of sense. The median makes a lot of sense. This is the midpoint between all of the numbers, and whether it's 5, 500, 5,000, or 5 million people, the midpoint is always the median. Now the median retirement savings in this country is $54,000 at 40 years old. If you have savings. Now, the problem becomes this point right here. 81% of Americans have less than $5,000 in savings. So that throws all of this way off, and it actually makes the average with and without savings useless. But it does make the median number an interesting number. The median number for everybody in this country at 40 years old for retirement savings is $4,500. Now, what should you have? At 40 years old, in order to retire comfortably, assuming your current income is considered comfortably, you should have 2 to 3 times your current income. So if you make $50,000 a year, you should have between $100,000 and $150,000 in retirement savings. Now, the fact is, almost nobody at 40 years old has that amount of money in retirement savings. But the good news is that you have 25 years of savings left, and it's not too late. As you progress later and later in life, it becomes more and more difficult to retire comfortably. But with 25 years left and a bit of planning and a bit of self-discipline, you can retire in great comfort. I'll show you how in another video. Hey, if you like this brief summary, please give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe and notifications below so that you get notified the next time I post a video. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.